All right, all right. Morning, you. It is Friday, April 23rd. Let's see what's going on in the markets today. So, we got some earnings today. Honeywell, American Express, Kimberly-Clark, and Schlumberger have already reported. Honeywell beat on both EPS and revenue. Amex beat on EPS, missed on revenue, however. And then Kimberly-Clark missed on both, and also Schlumberger. I mean, the only two that I'm really paying attention to are Amex and Honeywell because they're over 100 billion market cap. But to be honest, I don't think that the results here are going to be big enough to create any major waves in the market. And then as far as the economic calendar goes, the only thing big that we have being reported today is the new home sales for the month of March, and that's coming out in an hour. We do have the manufacturing PMI, but it's not as substantial of an economic indicator as some of the others. Yesterday, crazy day. Just I could not believe how violently we dropped. The initial sell-off, to have been grinding up on such low volume all day, and then to literally retrace the entire range and take out the low of the day in 10 minutes was just it blew my mind. I was scalping on a 15-second chart at the time, and I mean, by the time I was able to catch it, it was already totally off the screen. So, hey, morning wandering. So, if we look at the regular trading hours sessions, so yesterday relative to the day prior, whoops. So you can see that yesterday, if we were just looking at the regular trading hours, was in an outside day. So it'd basically be one big engulfing bar from the day prior. We can see that the POC is weighted towards the low. So that basically tells us that the sellers were clearly much more aggressive and were able to shift value, or the market's equilibrium price, down lower. As far as the overnight session goes here, we can see that value is overlapping and higher. However, we are seeing some supply starting to come in here as we creep closer to the open. So you can see that we're testing the overnight low, and we do have a relatively weak low right here. So you can see that this is an unfinished auction to the downside. So basically what I'm looking for today is I am looking for us to potentially break the overnight low and then retest yesterday's low. If we can get down here, I think the likelihood of a breakout is pretty good. The only thing that I would say is that as a whole, if we look on the daily chart, I mean, we've really been in an uptrend for quite some time. And sorry, I'm just looking at my camera. It's all grainy looking. Let me see. Bear with me. Yeah, that's no filter right there, but I don't know. Let me get a little cloth real fast. Hang on, guys. Yeah, it didn't really help too much. Not sure. Hopefully the picture's not quite as grainy as it is on your end. In any event, like I said, we've mostly been in an uptrend for quite some time here. So I wouldn't be surprised if the buyers came in strong. Like I said, we are developing value is overlapping and higher. So although price is moving down, value is still higher so far in the overnight session. If the POC starts to move down as we approach the open, then I may shift my bias, and or if we take out the overnight low. But we'll just have to wait and see. Not enough information quite as of yet, but I can see that some buyers are coming in here. If we look at the other indexes, you can see the NASDAQ here is still relatively weighted to the high. So not nearly as much supply coming in on the NASDAQ as there is on ES, the S&P, or the Dow. But we'll just need to, watch how this plays out. Usually, if we open up the value area as we are, it's really really choppy. Um, so my bias today. Okay, so let me zoom in here. All right, so based on the weakness exhibited by YM, that's the future symbol for the Dow. I'm looking for a retest of yesterday's low of the day and a possible breakdown. And then I said a break below yesterday's low would mean we'd likely drop to 40.60 to 40.70. There's a range down there. But I wasn't very confident on that. Like I said, we're opening in value, so it's pretty neutral. So basically, my variation of my primary scenario would be for the longs to buy in heavily at the low, and then we remain in balance, slowly grinding back up within yesterday's range. So those are my two kind of scenarios that I'm looking at today. As far as the equities world goes, Bitcoin dropped below 50,000, and I thought that was a fairly big deal. So you can see here is the 50K mark right there, and we are just coming up to retest it as we speak. So actually, we came up, and it looks like there was a seller that came in. So we dropped just a smidge here. Let me zoom out again so you can see the full picture. Okay. So like I said, Bitcoin, until it starts to balance, I'm not looking to re-engage to the long side on Bitcoin at all. But once it starts to find value down here and starts to creep back up, then I'll start looking for longs. But as it stands, I'm bearish on Bitcoin. Like I said, American Express did report today, so we'll take a look at them. And very big gap down, so the market clearly did not like that miss on revenue. You can see that we're opening well below this range up in here. So as far as this goes, potential targets could be this pivot low down here, around 136, depending. That would be a pretty big drop. So I have my this is my new VWAP indicator that I'm working with, and it shows 1 and 2 standard deviations of VWAP on a monthly basis. So you can see we are well below 2 standard deviations on the monthly VWAP. Not quite so much on last month's VWAP. But my point is basically, I mean, we may not make it all the way down here to 136 because that is quite an extended move based on what is considered to be the average. So, all right. Well, yeah. If you guys have anything you want me to take a look at, by all means, feel free to throw it in the chat. Otherwise, I'll just we'll keep trucking here and start looking for some setups. Tell me, do you guys play the short side at all? Or are most of you predominantly just long traders? Like, do you trade puts? Do you short stocks? Anything like that? Or is everybody mostly long? It looks like Naked is bouncing here on the open. So you can see that we had this little move upward, and then we're gapping up on the open here. So this is a potential decent buy zone. Long or short on indexes. Gotcha. Cool. Yeah, so you're just like me. So like I said, this is Naked here, NAKD. And we're quite sold off right now, relative to the historical average. So this might be a pretty decent long entry on like a mean reversion basis. If we switch to a daily chart, see where we're at. So we are right at this area where there's some confluence from back in this area. So we do have this buy zone there. We have another buy zone here. And yeah, right above that range too. So not a bad place to enter on this, considering we're coming down from a spike above $3 and it's currently trading at like 61 cents. So if you're into penny stocks, that might not be a bad idea. Okay, so we got that. Let's take a look at the SPY. So you can see we're mostly just stuck in a range here, and delete that. So I was looking for us to trade back to this trend line, and it looks like that still could happen. As it stands, like I said, we're still very much in a range. So we'll need to see what happens today. If the market, if the futures bounce, I would imagine we'll probably just continue to chop up here, and this will probably turn into a bull flag eventually. But like I said, you never know. I mean, clearly yesterday was a very volatile day. If we look at the amount of volume that was traded here, yesterday was much higher than the day prior. So I would imagine there's probably still a lot of people that are short yesterday and probably held overnight. So they may be likely to defend their positions. Okay. All right, we got 19 minutes till the open here, guys. I called this out. I think it was on Wednesday. This is a Neo, and this still isn't a bad opportunity here. We had just broken through this trend line right here. We had a failed descending triangle. So if we come back and retest that trend line, that would be a pretty optimal entry point to get in long. As far as other stocks goes, man, I gotta clean up this chart. Holy crap. This is my AMC chart. Let me just remove. There we go. All right, that's better. All right, so this is AMC, and I don't have volume on here right now. I ran out of indicators on TradingView because I have NinjaTrader. I don't pay for I don't pay for TradingView. But any event, AMC, it's on a decent looking pullback right now. We are up a little bit in pre-market. Not a lot of volatility though here, so I'm not sure exactly if this would be worth tying up your capital. General Electric, this would actually be a pretty decent looking short. You can see we're in a really nice channel coming down here. And if the market dumps again today, taking it just down this channel basically would be pretty nice if you're a fairly short-term trader. Pfizer also pulling back, has been really bullish, and we're right at the 2 standard deviation mark basically in the channel we've been in. So it's hard to say, something like this is going to be fairly correlated to the S&P. So it's hard to say if we'll get our bounce here or not. If the S&P does bounce today, though, this could be a decent long entry back up towards the high there, but it may need to come back down a little bit further and retest like this level, for instance, before we get a bounce and start continuing higher. So and then the only other thing that I wanted to point out, so Riot blockchain, of course, is going to be highly correlated to Bitcoin. If Bitcoin continues to drop, we have a major inflection point right here, right around 34.40, something like that. And we're opening right at this inflection point. So potentially everybody that bought in this range would be getting trapped. So this could be a fairly aggressive short right here if we're able to break through this $34 dollar level. So keep an eye on Riot because that thing may drop pretty aggressively. Okay, so like I said, guys, if there's anything you want me to take a look at, please feel free to throw it in the chat. As far as news and stuff goes today, let me take a look. Okay, so again, the market dropped really hard. If you haven't heard yet, it dropped primarily on the Biden tax proposal that would raise capital gains tax for the wealthy from 20 to 43%. And although I agree that, um, a lot of good could be done for increasing the capital gains tax for the ultra rich, 43% is, I mean, that's more than double what it was previously. That's a really, really aggressive hike there. So it's not overly surprising to me that that the market got shook on that. Um, like I said, as far as economic indicators goes, today we've got new home sales and the PMI, manufacturing PMI. Um, and that's about it. So nothing else super crazy going on right now. So the S&P continues to chop here in value. We are holding above yesterday's point of control. So I would imagine this is kind of our line in the sand here, yesterday's POC. So and the supply that I had been seeing on the other indexes like the Dow and the Russell has lightened up a little bit. The Dow still is fairly bearish. If we take a look at it here, so this is the Dow on the left. You can see it's still definitely looking a little bit more bearish than the S&P is. But then everything is basically just moving sideways. So I don't have a very high conviction trade direction right now. Like I said, values is overlapping and higher, so I'm neutral long. So anyways, we got 13 minutes till the open. It's pretty quiet in here, so I'm probably gonna go ahead and get ready for my trading day. Thanks again for joining me as always, and I will be on Sunday at 8:30 Pacific time for the weekend wrap. So good luck on your trades today, guys. Watch your risk, and we will see you on Sunday. Yeah, you too, Wandering. Thanks for being here. All right, guys. Good luck today.